And we stay in Venezuela now. Amid food shortages, allegations broke this week that an egg factory in the Aragua state let 3 million eggs rot before they were sold to consumers at regulated prices. The accusations are substantial considering that eggs periodically go missing in Venezuela. Our correspondent Ian Bruce visited the factory there yesterday to get to the bottom of the story there. Ian, what did you find there at Ovomar? That's what this place is called. Did they really destroy 3 million eggs? That's a lot of eggs.
It is a lot of eggs, Cody. This was a really interesting insight into the so-called economic war in Venezuela. So the denunciation was made at the beginning of the week, the destruction of these 3,000 eggs to avoid selling them at the regulated price. So we went there to try and find out if it was true. This is the factory you can see here. We never expected to get into the factory, so we started off talking to the workers, the health and safety reps who'd made those denunciations. As we were talking to them, as we finished, another group of workers came marching towards us, shouting, "We want our jobs, we want our jobs, it's all lies." And then there was this you can see them here. Then this drama kind of unfolded over the next couple of hours, where we were taken into the factory by this group of workers, and there was this kind of shouting match going backwards and forwards between two groups of workers. One of them with the manager, with the supervisors, the other with the health and safety representatives, over whether or not these eggs had been destroyed and why they'd been destroyed. In the end, there's certainly a dispute about how many eggs were destroyed. The company denies that it was 3 million. They say, yes, we did have to destroy some eggs because we supply a lot of our eggs to industries like Polar and Kraft, who make mayonnaise and stuff like that. They've stopped production temporarily over the last couple of months, and that means we were just building up a backlog of eggs, and that's why we had to destroy them. Not as many as 3 million. That's the company's version. Now, the other workers, the other group of workers, and you see them, they're all shouting at each other here, their version is that essentially the company, for some time, certainly since price controls were introduced on eggs last November, have been basically stopping supplying eggs to the retail market, to supermarkets, to shops, because when they do that, they have to sell them at the regulated price. Instead, they've put almost all their production, including the better quality eggs, which would have gone to supermarkets, into what they call pasteurization, breaking them up, turning them into liquid, and sending them to other industries to be made into mayonnaise and so on and so forth. So, these workers were shouting, tell the truth, don't be frightened about your jobs. They say the other workers are worried that they'll lose their jobs because, it's a serious situation, the state might intervene, and they're worried they'll lose their jobs. But, so there are two different versions of the number of eggs that have been destroyed, and there are different versions of why it's happened. But essentially, they're both talking about the same reality, which is that, the eggs are not going to consumers. They're going to industrial purposes where this group of workers, now he's telling us here that, look at all those boxes of eggs there. They should have been on the market a week ago, and they haven't sold them. So now, if they're not sold immediately, and there's no prospect they will be sold, they'll have to be destroyed. Or first of all, they'll be put into this great big warehouse, which you'll see in a moment. So as I say, they're kind of talking about the same reality, but they have a completely different explanation of it.
And ultimately, we know that eggs can sometimes be hard to find here in Venezuela, which makes this even more concerning, whatever the reasons.
Well, more than just a little bit hard to find. I mean, to be honest, I've been back in Venezuela for 2 months. I haven't bought an egg yet. I mean, in ordinary shops, there are no eggs. There are no eggs ever. Yeah, if you look, you can find somebody selling them on a corner, that kind of thing, at a much inflated price, because it's meant to be $800 for a carton of 30 eggs. And actually, you can't get them for much less than $3,000. I'm
curious how you found out about this. I haven't heard about this from many other sources. 3 million eggs, that's a lot of eggs.
Well,
you would think it would attract attention from
certainly the international media, I don't think have covered it at all. As I say, it came out a little bit in the local media at the beginning of the week, because these workers released some of their phone footage of the eggs, the rotting eggs, to a local Socialist Party member of Parliament, and he sort of publicized a bit. But you're right, there hasn't been a lot of, because it doesn't fit into the narrative. It doesn't fit into the narrative that most of the international media are telling us about Venezuela, that, the economic policy is a total mess, that the people are going hungry and there's no food because of the economic state. What we see here is, at least a part of the reason why the eggs is not just, at least, not only about economic policy on the part of the government. It's because private companies like this are deliberately avoiding selling them at the official price.
Well, let's hope that they don't, that this doesn't happen again, and that so much food that could be eaten by everyday Venezuelans doesn't go to waste.
Absolutely, although I'm not sure how likely that is, because the workers told us that this has been going a long time. Not on this scale, but it has been going on for quite a long time.
Well, thankfully now, hopefully more people will know that it's happening. Ian, thank you very much.